Good video begins with good audio. It might surprise you that the best looking video of all will not seem very good if the sound quality isn't also good. These are some hints, tricks, and procedures for working with sound that we at DisciplesNet have discovered along the way. In bringing DisciplesNet worship services and other resources to you, we've made many discoveries along the way. Whether it's specific types of technology or procedures to use for good results, we're sharing them with you here. Welcome to Discoveries Along the Way. Probably the most important aspect of working with sound is that the signal, the sound you want people to hear, has to be much, much higher than the noise, the sound you don't want people to hear. For instance, you might not have even noticed the small hum of our air conditioning in the background of this segment. That's because the signal is much louder than the noise. We'll talk in just a bit about eliminating even that low-level noise. But for now, hear the difference between a good sound-to-noise ratio and a bad one. Yikes! Let's get rid of that! So, it's important to choose the location of your video carefully to make sure that the surrounding noise, also called ambient noise, is at a minimum. If you're doing live streaming, you might not be able to eliminate all the noise or even prevent an interruption, say a police or fire vehicle passing by. The key there is to train folks to repeat what they've just said after an interruption. The key there is to train folks to say what they've just said after the interruption goes away. With pre-recorded sound, you can just cut out any interruptions. But it's still a good idea to have the speaker go back to the beginning of a paragraph or to a sentence to make the cut less abrupt and obvious. Now, let's talk about some types of sound and how to get rid of them. First, there's wind noise. If you're shooting outside, you'll almost always have to deal with a bit of wind noise. It usually shows up as a low-pitched, irregular rumble. Either put the microphone in a sheltered position, pointing it away from the wind, or shield it with foam or those furry covers that you can get. Next, we have electrical noise. This sounds either like a crackle or a hum. If you've got a crackle, the best bet is to check your sound cables. They might not be plugged in all the way, or the contacts could be dirty. Don't just blow on them. That may make the problem worse by adding bits of saliva to the contacts. Clean them with a cotton swab and rubbing alcohol. And if the problem persists, try replacing the cable. If you have a hum, those come from electrical wiring that isn't shielded. And you'll probably have to get a ferrite core that you can feed the cable through, or cables that have their own shielding. You can also use what's called a high-pass filter to cut out the low-pitched hum. Next, let's talk about background noise. One thing that you can do to eliminate background noise is to keep the microphone as close to the speaker as possible and use a directional microphone. However, if you still have some low-level background noise, you can use a level filter on the soundboard or on your editing software. Many sound editing software packages have a way to select just a bit of the recording that is just background noise, and then eliminate that from the whole recording. That's how we eliminate the air conditioner sound from our videos. Some of the noise may come from the speaker, him or herself. This can involve intakes of air just before they start speaking, or plosives, where the breath from certain sound impacts on the microphone. With breathing sounds, there's not a lot you can do in live situations. However, in pre-recorded sound, you can view the sound as a waveform and easily pick out those intakes of breath right before they speak, and then silence them. There are several ways to limit plosives. First, you can put the microphone below the speaker so that their breath isn't coming directly at it. This is one reason why lavalier mics don't have problems with plosives. With a standard microphone, you can either back the mic off just a bit, requiring the person to speak a bit louder, or place a pop shield in front of the mic to absorb the plosive sound. Finally, we come to noise that the equipment itself makes. These can be anything from rattles as you move the camera on a tripod, or even the sound of a lens zooming or focusing. The easiest solution for this is to use a microphone that's separate from the camera, either a corded microphone or a wireless microphone. And now the final element in good sound is your speaker's voice itself. Encourage your speakers to speak loudly, but without yelling or straining their voice. Also encourage them to speak in a conversational tone, emphasizing the words that they think are important and varying pitch, speed, and tone for a more robust voice. This takes some work, but it makes a big difference. And that's it for this segment. Keep watching this channel for more DisciplesNet discoveries along the way.